Today, this and this are going in this. And this is my 1991 Acura NSX that we are putting a K-Series in. Now, if you did not see the first episode, let me catch you up to speed. I started off with removing all of the body panels so we did not damage them, pulled off all of the random accessories, and dropped out the factory C30A1 and automatic transmission. We are now left with this, an NSX that is completely stripped on the rear and an open engine bay. Today, we are going to install the new motor and the new transmission. Now this is the new motor. This is a K24A2. It is a 2.4 liter K-Series engine, comes in a 2004 to 2008 Acura TSX, and I was able to score this thing on Facebook Marketplace for the price of $400. This may very well be the cheapest K24 ever sold. Now I did get compression numbers before the motor was pulled out of the car. According to the seller, compression was good, and this thing ran like a top. And here is our transmission of choice. This is out of an Acura RSX. This guy was very, very budget friendly. Once again, score this guy on Facebook Marketplace, and I paid $500 for the transmission. So all in, new engine, new transmission, we are in the swap, 900 bucks. Now the cool thing is, this is the factory C30A1 and the factory automatic transmission. If it's a manual transmission, well, for starters, I don't know if I'd be swapping this car. I'd probably just leave the factory power plant in there and mod from there. But if it was the manual transmission, it'd be worth a lot of money. The automatics are still worth a decent amount. They're worth about $3,000, and these motors sell for at least $10,000. So by selling this right here, say if at minimum we get 12 grand for it, that should completely pay for the new motor, the new transmission, all the new axles, the motor mounts, the engine management, and quite possibly, if we decide to boost it, which you guys can use your imagination there, it'll probably pay for the forced induction as well. Now, before we put these in the car, there's a few things we need to do on the car itself and with the motor and transmission. On the chassis side of things, I do want to get all of this removed. The motor and transmission are going to go in and out quite a few times before they are permanently mounted up in the engine bay. All this stuff is kind of in the way, so I do want to get all of that pulled out of there. Now on the engine side of things, there's a couple pieces on here we do not need. For example, this came out of an automatic car, so this guy right here, we don't need. So we just got everything ripped out of the rear. This thing is completely wide open now for all of the activities that we need to do. It's crazy how much space is in this engine bay. I'm used to working in the Type R, which is like half the size. So these are all of the motor mounts for the swap. Transmission, driver side, engine, passenger side. This bolts onto the rear subframe, and this will be the rear mount that goes from the back of the transmission and the motor to that, right up in there. Now I had to build all these from scratch when I did the Type R, and that took so long. Trying to figure out exactly where the motor should sit, what angle it should sit at, where the axles need to sit. And then once you get all that figured out, you have to build all this stuff pretty much from cardboard first, and then get it all cut out, weld it together, and press in the bushings. It takes a very, very long time. So being able to just buy these things and bolt them on and not having to worry about motor placement because they figured it out, that's gonna save a lot of time. So I got this thing stripped down, before we bolt these together and do our very first mock-up inside the shell, let's spend some time getting this cleaned up. Both of these are absolutely filthy. And to be honest, it's just not very fun working on crusty parts. So this is what we ended up with after some light degreasing and pressure washing. Now, of course, later on, before they are permanently mounted in the car, I'll go through and properly get everything restored to spec, but this is good enough for mock-up. So we have the motor and transmission connected. Let's go ahead and slap on the driver side and passenger side mounts, which will be these guys here. And this thing will be ready to be bolted into the car for the very first time. Now, unfortunately, that hole right there on the transmission is shot, so we will have to heat the coil or time insert that later on. Next problem, as you can see, that is flat and that is not. So there's no way to bolt this to that. But this is where this guy comes into play. This is a K-tuned side mount pulley kit, and this should fix our problems. This guy right here is what we need. So we're gonna unbolt this, bolt this billet piece on from K-tuned, and then this will bolt on there. And just like that, the motor and transmission are bolted up in the car. Took a little bit of massaging to get everything to fit right, but now that we know how it goes in, it'll be much easier next time. Now, the coolest part about all of this is that this chassis, the shell, the body of the car, doesn't need to be modified whatsoever. That's a factory bucket right there, factory on that side. We don't have to do any sort of modifications. So let's say in the future, if we get bored of the K24, and we want to go back to a factory C30 or even the C32 or a J series, all the mounts are factory. We could put this car 100% back to stock if we wanted. Now, I doubt that'll ever happen, but it's cool to know that in the back of my mind, we are not having to cut this thing apart. Now let's see about the rear engine mount setup. If I'm not mistaken, it mounts to that cross member there. So let's bolt that in the car. This bolts to that, and this will bolt to the transmission. So here is the general idea of the rear mount. This is gonna bolt up to there. This lower section bolts on to the lower subframe, and then it bolts onto the transmission right here and right up here. We now know all of the motor mounts work perfectly with this setup, and that was the main thing that I wanted to verify today. This motor and transmission are gonna come back out. We have a lot of work to do in the engine bay compartment. We have work we need to do on the engine, and we have work we need to do on the transmission. So let's go ahead and get that dropped back out of the car so we can start getting some stuff cleaned up. Well, friends, I've gotten a little bit carried away, to say the least. This here is all of the hardware for the entire back of the car, all the suspension hardware, subframe hardware, and I am sending all of this out to get replated because, as you can see, a lot of this is not in good shape whatsoever. It's already off the car. We might as well make it brand new. And if all that is going to be brand new, we may as well go ahead and pull off all the hardware on the engine and transmission and get that replated as well. Here we have every single bolt, nut, even some brackets for the whole entire engine bay, the motor itself, the transmission, all of the transmission case bolts, and all of the hardware for all of the suspension, the control arms, the subframe, pretty much everything on the entire car, minus stuff up front. All this is going to be re-zinc plated, and when it's all finished up, it should look something like that. A brand new bolt, but it's still OEM, which is going to be perfect on this car. Now, of course, if we're gonna have all brand new hardware, I probably should go through and refurbish all of this. This is all the control arms, subframes, brakes, suspension pieces, and I'm debating repainting the engine bay in the trunk. This here is the factory color, factory paint. It's that color in the trunk, in the bay. The rest of the car is sprayed. They did a really, really good job on all the exterior panels. But like most people, whoever painted this car did not take the time to pull out the motor, which is understandable. So I'm debating if I want to take the time to paint the bay as well. They painted this in a pretty rare color, and it'll probably be a little bit difficult to match. The color on this car is Neutron Pearl White, which is a very, very rare OEM, but very rare NA1 NSX color. I already know as soon as we spray the bay, this is going to be a full out restoration, just like the Yellow 8, kind of like the 10, but more so the Yellow 8. Day 2 of case swapping my 91 NSX coming to a close. I did set the motor back up in here for some more mock-up purposes. But of course, if we do end up painting the engine bay, the motor is gonna have to come back out. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.